dig, in your fucking head. They're always in your head, aren't they? It's part of the propaganda. It's part of how it works. Break you down mentally. Always in your head, right? You get a bill for something every month. A week into that month, you get a thing notice that your statement is ready. A week later, you get, only a week until your bill is due. And then you get due until you fucking pay it. And even then, you get here's a receipt for your bill. Your next bill is due. So basically, 3 weeks out of the 4-week cycle, they're in your fucking head. But that's not what I want to talk about right now. I'm just saying every fucking aspect they got to control. And this money, this 1099 income shit for a $600 personal threshold for selling shit every year, it's ridiculous. Ridiculous. For those of you that don't know, online sellers, eBay, Amazon, Facebook Marketplace, Etsy, etc., they had, previous to this, a meager $20,000 and X amount of items, something like 100,000 items that they could sell per year and not have to pay any income tax. Now, for those who've never experienced anything like that, you might say, well, that seems kind of high. Why should you be able to get $20,000 in free money when other people... Because it isn't $20,000 in free money. It's $20,000 in gross sales. And most of the time, if you sell on those platforms, especially eBay or corporate-ass Amazon, on eBay, you're competing with Chinese companies who have saturated the market, and they sell everything on price point. Cheaper. It's impossible to sell anything and make any fucking substantial profit on eBay. Doesn't matter if you're buying and reselling or if you're just taking shit that you find around your house and selling. You have to sell it cheap to make a sale on eBay. So a $20,000 threshold is really ain't shit. You might sell $20,000 worth of stuff and make $2,000. Seriously, because the average item that you sell on eBay that costs $25 to the buyer plus tax, right? The average item that you sell to a person after paying your fees and your shipping, you're lucky to make $5. It's not much of a living. You got to really grind it out. It's really not much of a fucking living. In fact, sustaining yourself entirely with online sales, you need to either have an item that nobody else has and a high quantity of it where you can ship it for a reasonable price. And believe me, everybody wants those items. Those are the most desired things in the fucking world. If you could sell something that's small, that doesn't require a lot of money, that you can send first class, that makes you a good profit, that you don't have 100 other people selling the same fucking thing, of course everybody wants that. Those kinds of things, they're few and fucking far between. So most of the time when you're selling stuff on eBay, you're taking a bath. You're making a couple of dollars. Essentially, I look at it like this. I'm taking money that I have in the real world, a small amount of money, whether it's something that I bought years ago or whether it's something I find really cheap somewhere or even free. I'm taking that money and I'm taking real money from the real world, however small that amount is, and I'm turning it into slightly more digital money so that later on when I want to buy something digitally, I've got a bank account that has some money in it already that I can use for that. That's all it's good for. It's good for nothing else. Living off of it, it is fucking hard to make your entire living off of doing that. Now, if you're creating a product on your own, maybe you're using something like Etsy instead of eBay, right? A little bit looser, or Facebook Marketplace. You can do a little better if you get lucky. But the point is, it's such a fucking small amount of money and such a large amount of time and commitment that it's not worth it for anybody to do. Now, we've seen in the last couple of years, the more and more small businesses have had to close because of this fucking bullshit, right? Because of this I don't want to say it because I'm going to try putting this on YouTube. It's made it very difficult for any small business to compete with the corporate model or with the chain model or with anything else. It doesn't matter what type of business, retail, restaurant, etc. It's hard to compete. And then you add in your local regulations and the fees that they want you to pay and every other fucking thing that they want you to do, on top of the fact that, depending on the kind of business it is and what area you're in, you may have a woke mob trying to force you to also push an ideology that you may or may not give a flying fuck about. It is difficult to run a business, and the point of doing that is to force you to have to work for somebody else. Now, the whole idea of America is supposed to be the opposite of this, and I don't bother talking about that right now, but with this fucking passage of the personal threshold going from $20,000 to $600, now they want everybody to fill out these 1099s, right? Which if you drove for somebody like Uber, right, or Lyft, or Amazon Flex, or Uber Eats, or DoorDash, or one of those things, if you did that kind of thing, for example, in the last few years, they would tell you at the end of the year, oh, we got your tax forms ready, oh, you're going to have to pay this. But they didn't really enforce it, because just like these other things, this is one of those things where, you know, if you're driving for, some people have made a career out of driving for Uber, but for the most part, people who are driving for Uber or Lyft or Uber Eats or DoorDash or Amazon Flex, etc., they're doing it because they need a couple $100 extra per month to make their fucking rent, to pay their bills, or to do anything else like that, because they don't have anything else. They have no other way of doing it. So now you're going to take the extra couple $100 that somebody makes, and I don't care if it's $200 or $500, whatever it is that they need, you're going to take that extra amount of money and say, well, we need that for taxes. Well, why? The government gives away fucking money like crazy. Welfare is out of fucking control, and foreign aid, which is just welfare, is out of fucking control. It's out of control. Fuck, they left $80 billion worth of weapons in another fucking country. $80 billion. Couldn't you just keep that fucking money? Instead of trying to squeeze all the fucking America. I can't take it. I can't stand it. So now, in order to sell something on eBay and not have to pay taxes on it for your small ass profit of $600. And let me just make sure that you completely have this in perspective correctly. This straight, I'll tell you, if you buy a bicycle for $1,000 and then you sell it on eBay for $700, that's optimistic, by the way, that you're going to get anywhere near that kind of return. You sell it on eBay for $700, that's not considered making a profit, that's taking a loss. Then as long as you prove that you took that loss, you don't have to pay any taxes on it. Well, that's great. So now I have to keep track of every little fucking tiny piece of shit that I've ever sold on this platform, as does everybody else. I have to create an origin date from when I got it, produce a receipt proving how much I paid for it, and then show the amount of money that I've had to spend on eBay fees, shipping, your phone, gas, shit like that when it's required travel or communication, and then, oh, why not, the amount you're going to have to pay the accountant at the end of the year, unless you really like doing that shit yourself, which I find it to be absolutely mind-numbing. All that has to go in there too. So now, instead of just keeping this simple and making a couple $100 extra a month, which is what most people are trying to do just so they can make their fucking rent, instead of just keeping it simple like that, now you have to keep a long log fucking database of all that in order to have any hopes that you can actually keep that pittance of money. We can't get the government to do anything that we want. They don't listen to us when it comes to fucking spending money in any way. There's absolutely no accountability for how they fucking spend money. And don't tell me that there is not. Voting means nothing. Oh, well, you know, if you don't like the way they vote, then just wait till the next time you're up for election. I'm so fucking tired of hearing it. It never works. It never works. Even people that say that they're not going to fucking spend money on all kinds, they still go in there and they fucking waste all of our money and they steal a bunch for themselves or their friends or for fucking corporations. They take all the money. There's no money left for anybody else. There's no money left for anybody else. They take everything. They grift fucking everything. It's fucking pointless. This country is turning into a fucking a modern day version of indentured servitude. It's a joke. Man, fuck this government. I'm sorry, I'm just not fucking done yet. So if I buy a fucking tennis racket in 2002 and I use it a little bit, it sits in my closet, then one day I'm like, hey, I could probably sell this tennis racket for $15, and then after paying shipping and fees, I get like $2 back. Because the other choice is to just leave it there. Let's say I'm not using it. Just leave it there or throw it in the fucking garbage, which creates an environmental problem, right? And it's also stupid, and it's just not the right way to fucking live your life. But when the choice comes down, so now I have to have a receipt from fucking 2002 that I've kept all of this fucking time. And I don't care if it's 2 years ago or 20 years ago. It doesn't fucking matter. Who keeps receipts for every single fucking thing that they buy? That's insanity. So if you can't prove what you paid for it, that it's going to be a profit and not a fucking loss, because they're concerned that some motherfucker might have went to, a Goodwill or something and bought one for $1 and then sell it for $5 plus shipping, and they're concerned that $4 fucking they might fucking make, they're not going to get their piece of it. That's what they're fucking mad about. What about a family heirloom or something that you had that's an antique that's 30 or 50 or 100 fucking years old that you don't have a receipt for? Then what? What are you supposed... I mean, this is such a fun... I can't use the word I want to use because of what platform I'm on, but this is such a fucking system. I can't stand it. They want every fucking dollar. They want to track everything. They want to know all your spending habits. They track you through your fucking phone. They track where you go. They want to create algorithms to fucking replicate humanity. They want control of fucking everything, including your thoughts. You take the phone in the bathroom with you, they probably time the amount of time it takes you to take a shit. So they got a database on that. So someday when they need that fucking information, they'll use it. I can't stand it. What is the point? What is the fucking point? And you know what? Fuck a tennis racket. It doesn't fucking matter what the item is. The point is now that everything that you have in your house, anything you buy, it's dead weight. Once that money is spent, that money is gone. Don't think you're ever going to be able to recover a nickel. So don't ever buy anything with the foresight that it might be quality and it might last, or that you might be able to resell it at some point and recoup even 10% of what you spent on it. That money is all gone. It's gone. So when you buy something, it's yours forever. So you want to support retail places that sell shit that you can't even do anything with the item. It's not really yours. Do you understand? That's the problem with buying a fucking house. It's the reason I never bought a fucking house. And I know people like to argue with me about this all the time in real life, but I'll just, the brief rundown is when you can't really own the house, it's not yours. You can pay it off eventually and not have any more payments coming in, but you still got to pay property tax. Plus, you have to ask permission to do anything that you want to do in your property. I know some people, you have to ask permission for everything. You pretty much do. You got regulations for how you got to keep everything. You got to ask permission. Like I said, the point is you don't really own it. Unless you own it in a allodial title, you don't really own it. Nobody offers a allodial title. It's almost impossible to get anywhere. So you don't fucking really own it. And you don't really have sovereignty on that land like you think you do. You think you do, but unless you own an allodial title, you don't. They'll find ways around it. They will find ways around it. They will commandeer it. They will confiscate it if you piss them off enough one way or another. If you owe somebody enough money, they'll find. So that's why I never bought a house. And cars have become, or are coming more that way too. You don't really own them. Like this whole plan that they have to make that, if you haven't heard this yet, I'm sure plenty of you have. Right? And I'm not talking specifically about Teslas. I'm talking about all cars because I heard Tesla already does some shit like this. I don't know. They want to make stuff in your car pay per use. They're going to make stuff in your car pay per use like heated seats. Like your car would automatically come with this feature, but every time you want to use it, you have to put an app on your phone. Every time you want to use it, you have to pay per fucking use. So you don't really own anything. You know, it's the same thing now with buying everyday around the house common objects that you would use. Some of that stuff has usability, like dish soap, right? You use it up, it's fucking done. You're not buying a fucking bottle of dish soap to resell it. But other things that might hold their value that you could later get something back out of if you don't want to use it anymore, there's no point anymore. So everything you buy it's done. It's dead fucking money. If it isn't personal liberty that they take away, the government, if it isn't personal liberty that they take in the name of safety or any other fucking thing, which is not supposed to be the point of this country and who wants to live like that anyways. If it isn't that, then it's your autonomy or your fucking ability to be financially solvent and independent. They want every fucking aspect of control. They want everybody to rent. They want everybody to be fucking just worker consumers. Like that South Park episode, worker consumers. I work at Amazon and then I spend all my money at Amazon. It's just like that. And it doesn't matter what corporation or what part of the World Economic NWO plan you apply to it. That's what they fucking want, this global homo. I can't fucking stand it. You know who the fuck I'm talking about. I'm so tired of them. What is the fucking point? Man, fuck this government. Just fuck them.